we all in frame?
We are all in frame.
We're all good. And
It's a little dark.
we got no viewers yet, but
We have no viewers yet.
it's
You
okay.
guys will take the lead in the World Cup. I'll shoot my opinions in there. And NBA.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull your picture up that you sent. Here we go.
Don't think about it too much.
Too much, too much.
Is the mic on?
It sure
Yeah.
is.
Is it coming
There's no
through?
need for us to-
I
Testing,
believe
testing.
so. Our mic is
Don't
good. We're
think about
live.
it too much.
Hey, my haircut looking nice on this. Right? You know what I'm saying? Looks pretty
I didn't
clean.
even notice.
Did you go to Manassas?
I sure did. It was a hike. It was a hike.
I don't know how you do that, man.
Gotta look clean for our viewers, you know, for our one viewer.
Which is Lisa.
Don't blow us up yet, man.
I could not do that.
All right. Start thinking. Well, World Cup. I feel like you guys will be able to take the reins on that.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, yeah. Tim Howard, record
oh,
breaking.
yeah. First game of soccer I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah? Were you out? Where'd you go?
I met Jenny and all them at the steakhouse.
Oh, that's where they're watching it with Christian and all them?
Yeah, we got prime seating. I haven't been to the steakhouse in so years.
I legit
so
have not
long.
been since
So
senior
like
year.
when you go into the bar there, there's like on the right, there's these little areas that kind of have like these really thin tabletops. They
Right.
almost look like at the Alamo, what you would eat on.
Right.
And I showed up and they had that, and it was literally like the best seating. I didn't realize how many TVs they had in there. It
Right.
was just like we could see half the TVs in there, and it was just perfect. Like everyone else is like struggling to find a place to sit, but it did not help my yawning.
Did not help your yawning?
Yeah, and I wasn't even doing it like to be a joke. Like it was really like I just could not handle it.
We are not supported in the mobile apps.
The Cover
What?
3?
Yeah.
Uh,
The Ustream.
Oh,
our Ustream, really?
Yeah.
Weird.
How did the volume sound on the podcast?
It wasn't bad. It was actually good.
Okay.
Yeah, so it sounded pretty well.
Perfecto.
I think it blended much more than the mics
Yeah.
we had, so it was perfect.
That's good.
It's a nice mic. I
Yeah.
like it.
Lakers called.
Yeah, I definitely did my research on it.
Lakers called LeBron at midnight when free agency opened.
Yep.
That's right. That's right.
Lakers are also looking
just
into
started.
Melo. And,
Well, I've heard that.
hello.
I heard that the Rockets made a jersey, a number 7
seven,
jersey.
and that's Jeremy Lin's
Yeah.
jersey.
He's gone.
Lynn.
Yeah.
Even if Melo doesn't.
Nah,
come.
man, I think some team should pick Lin up. He's a beast.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's going to be gone from the
From
Rockets.
Rockets, yeah.
Even if they don't pick up.
Probably.
Melo? Really?
Yeah,
no,
they'll
they're
probably-
gonna
they'll
trade
probably-
Lin away for somebody good though. They're gonna
I don't even know how to pronounce his first name.
Marcin Gortat.
Marcin
I've also
Gortat.
said Marcin Gortat. I've heard a lot of people on the radio say Marcin Gortat, 5 years, $60 million, and he's
Yeah.
30 years old.
Yeah,
It's smart though.
It is, but
we need him.
we do need
Badly.
him.
And he did
He
great.
did really well.
He did
this
so
season.
well.
He did really
He deserved
well.
it.
I have to look
think
at the
so, too.
parameters of that contract to kind of see. I can still never understand
push
NBA and their contracts, and they can always amnesty him, I guess, if they have one of those.
I'm sure there's like.
We have to have an amnesty left.
Yeah.
I think you can
Yeah.
use one like every 2 years or 3
Yeah,
years.
I don't think we've used one anytime soon. Last time we probably used it was Arenas, if we did
Probably.
use one on him.
I think the last time we used ours was what's his name? Chauncey.
Chauncey Billups.
Yeah. Which I wish we never got rid of him. I was so happy when we had Chauncey.
We have 2 viewers.
Yeah. it's
Nice. That's you.
I was gonna say it might have been Gil.
me. Yeah, I miss having Chauncey on the squad.
Did you know that Tim Howard has Tourette syndrome?
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's difficult. I mean, not for him, but to play. Because
Well,
like
I wonder
when
how
keeper's
severe it
always
is.
the keeper's always like commanding the defense.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's difficult for them to work with.
What do you mean?
Like if he were to
He has
just
Tourette's.
randomly scream out a random
Oh, yeah,
thing,
yeah,
like
yeah.
a tick, like
Yeah, I wonder what his thing is, because I know there's like differences of
Blocking balls.
That's
That's what
Tourette's.
his Tourette's is. Even when the ball's on the other side, he's just like diving for no reason.
He had 16 saves,
Yeah,
which is the most since 1960
Yeah.
something.
yeah,
Record
50
breaking.
years.
That was ridiculous. Like,
And
can't believe
so
that.
all the teams that are in the final 8 are all expected to be there except Costa Rica, correct?
and well, yeah. I mean, Belgium wasn't.
Yeah.
Belgium was only expected just because of the path they had.
Okay, their group was easy enough that they can probably make it through.
Mm-hmm. That was really sad. To, but you know what? I didn't.
How do you make it so your phone doesn't lock? Probably in the
Settings and then there's a lock setting. Honestly, I'm not really too mad about the loss. I mean, it sucks that they didn't play any defense, but in the grand scheme of things, we're the second youngest team. We've got so much time to develop and get their next World Cup.
Yeah.
So I think Klinsmann did a great job.
How old is Clint? He's one of the older ones on the team too.
Yeah, but he'll be back.
Honestly,
I think the oldest on the team is Tim Howard, and I doubt he's coming back.
You doubt he's coming
Clint
back?
Dempsey
Highly
is 31, which means he would be
35.
next World Cup.
Dempsey's not gonna come back, bro.
I feel like he might have made
They might do the same thing they did with Landon Donovan. Green is.
I don't see them doing that to Donovan.
it to Dempsey.
I mean, to Dempsey.
Really?
Because of he's just. I can see him being in form still by then. With Donovan, he was still in form, but it's like he's not. Landon Donovan is like one of those players where, like we said, he's like Kobe.
Mhm.
You don't bench Kobe.
Yeah.
You don't have him coming off the bench.
Right.
And like Donovan never got along with Klinsmann.
Mhm.
They always had problems. There's always issues between them.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it's like either you start him or he doesn't play.
Right.
So I mean, and you saw Julian Green had a goal.
Yeah.
That was his first time playing.
Yeah.
And he had a goal.
And
So that's a glimpse of the future right there.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Clint Dempsey is like, you know, he's 31 years old. The next World Cup, he's gonna be 35. A lot can happen in 4 years, and you know, Jurgen Klinsmann can be the U.S. coach. Maybe not. You know, whoever knows. Like 4 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Dempsey coming back at 35.
I mean, it's
It's a toss up. It's a toss up.
I can see it.
I
I see it happening.
I can see the same thing happening to Dempsey that happened to Landon Donovan, because you know people like Green and other younger talent. Like I feel like Green will be a leader, so on. He's gotten his World Cup start. He hit a beautiful goal against Belgium. It just was way too late for us. Even though we should have won that game.
But I mean, you gotta remember, Dempsey is not playing striker.
he's not.
He's playing mid.
Yeah.
And the only reason why he was at striker was because Josie never came
Yeah,
back.
Josie off the door was out.
So
I mean, he played a very effective striker though.
yeah, but I definitely do see him coming back at a midfielder role, because at mid you can easily just continue
Right, right.
going on and playing. I mean, look at Pirlo. Pirlo's probably 30.
He's like a grandpa in
he's like
FIFA.
I think he's like 36
Is he not a grandpa in real life?
Yeah.
I think- I
You
think
guys
he
want to
is.
continue that conversation
on the
air?
show. Yeah.
Yes,
I
let's
definitely.
feel
do
like
it.
we should start that up in just a moment here.
Well, it's 7 o'clock,
That's
so
what I'm saying.
we can get going. And Pirlo's 35, and by the time Tim Howard is at next World Cup, it's 40.
Yeah.
So,
Alrighty,
all right. Well,
give me a countdown.
yeah, get on GarageBand.
All right.
Let's get this going. Oh,
Ooh.
jeez.
I had to move my seat forward a little bit.
I'm gonna start now. All right.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, folks, and everyone. If you listen to our program here on Wednesday, July 2nd, only a few days away from the celebration of the birth of our great nation here. Sadly, that comes a few days after we are eliminated from World Cup play in a somewhat devastating loss, and also a first for me that I completed an entire soccer game. Are you guys
It's a round of
impressed? I'll give
applause.
myself a round of applause there.
You should give yourself a pat on the
Let's
back.
give it
Yeah.
up for Matt.
Give it up
Pat
for
on the
me.
back.
The main story coming out of that was Tim Howard, the new Captain America, I would say, taking that title from Clint Dempsey. Would you guys agree?
He's Captain America's shield. I'll give you that.
Okay, that's a reasonable
All right.
reference.
Because Captain America has to be a striker. He's out there
Yeah.
doing his thing.
Okay.
He also has to defend with the shield, and I think
All
Tim
right.
Howard could be Captain America's shield. I think Clint Dempsey and Tim Howard, both in itself, make Captain America. Right?
Yeah.
If you guys know who Captain America is, if not, Google search. You
His
figure it
shield.
out. Yeah, he's got a nice little shield. If not, he's a big
My
popular
brain
movie nowadays. But Tim Howard, wow.
But his greatness did
Record-breaking.
have to come with the cost of very poor defense, which was evident even
He had no
from
help.
a-
But there's only so much DeMarcus Beasley can do. It felt like this whole World Cup, DeMarcus Beasley was the only one, working.
Yeah.
It really felt like that. The left, and if you look at the statistics, they didn't score on the left side.
No.
The left side was not scored on
I mean,
once
if you do
because they
remember-
knew not to go there because DeMarcus Beasley had it locked down.
But if you do remember last game, right before Belgium, Germany we played, and Omar Gonzalez played an amazing game. I mean, Germany was we had better defense against Germany in itself and the game in itself, but most of it was because Omar Gonzalez was making incredible stops.
Yeah.
It wasn't because Belgium had 16 shots on goal, and most of it was from the right side because they were afraid of DeMarcus Beasley or whatever have you, right? It's just like the game. It's us getting into the Sweet 16 or whatever they call it, the elimination round. It kind of just like we lost our motivation, we lost our mojo. Where did it go? Our defense was non-existent from the beginning of that game. I personally think we should have won that game in the 92nd minute in additional time. It wasn't even extra time. It was right when they gave us additional time when you had Dempsey, and I forget who it was. The ball got through the defenders, and it was just that right. The goal was wide open, and it just went far right, and then extra time was over. And then you go into overtime, whatever
Right.
have you. That should have been USA's victory. But we looked sloppy the whole entire game. Our attack, our possession against Belgium was just non-existent. I mean, do you concur? I mean, as an avid FIFA follower and watching soccer, we're like, USA did not play like they played the 4 games before.
No, but on terms of possession, I mean, we actually had the ball more. It's 52%.
Oh, wow.
Just pull up the statistics for you. The problem is we didn't have too many shots. Belgium came out with, my math is terrible, so I'll just give it to you like this. Belgium had 18 shots on target. And I'm not sure how many shots they took.
Okay.
But they had 18 shots on target, which is, if you're not a soccer fan or aficionado, whatever you want to call it, shot on target is when it's shot right at the goal. You don't
The
go
spin of
wide
the
right,
goal.
you don't go wide right,
Right.
left, you don't go above. You're right on target.
But even
The keeper knocks it away,
You can hit the goal
or you
post.
hit the crossbar.
Right, yeah.
So that's 18 shots on target, and they had 13 shots off target. Imran, you're a math man. How many shots is that?
41, I believe. Yeah, 18, 13, 10.
I'm not going to question it. You're the math man.
31. Excuse me. I apologize.
31.
Yeah,
All right, that's a
31.
little bit better. They had 31 shots compared to our 14 shots. 14
Total?
shots total. That's overtime, first half, second half,
yeah.
extra stoppage time, and overtime. We
That's
had
double.
5 shots on target and 9 shots off target. And, I believe we were playing more for the possession. I think we were playing for the tie, and it was looking like we were just trying to get to the penalties.
Right.
Kicks at the end, penalty shots at the end, and take it that way. I think that's really what we were playing for, and I don't blame them. We were not supposed to be here,
No.
and I mean, everybody's
Hold on.
excited that we were supposed to be here.
Hold on. Before watching us play in the group of death in general, we
Exactly.
had assumptions we weren't supposed to be there.
Exactly.
We played like we were supposed to be here. It's not like we got lucky on 2 of the games.
Right.
And just things happen to fall in place for America. No, it's we played our heart out to get where we needed to be. I believe we deserved to be there.
A top
That
16
momentum,
team.
that momentum
Yeah.
just did not follow.
No.
It did not follow suit. So
And also on more statistics, they had 19 corners which gives a lot more chances. But the thing is, you know, if all those statistics that you're seeing, it was still a 2-1 game that was decided.
Yeah.
You know, having to go to 120 instead of going to the regular 90.
Right.
So it shows you that we can do it as the U.S. And you know, it's upsetting to see us lose. But once again, like I said, you know, you weren't supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, you know, on Christmas you're expecting to get just socks because you know your parents tell you, oh, we don't have the money, we're not getting nothing, and then bam, they hit you with the Xbox. You know what I mean? And you get excited.
Yeah.
You know, and then the next Christmas you're upset because
you got cold.
You got socks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
right.
It's just it follows suit like that. It's we weren't supposed to be here, but you know we got excited. But don't get too let down that we lost. You know, we came a lot further than we were supposed to. We came a lot further than we were last year. It's something to look forward to. You got to remember we're the second youngest team in the World Cup, and I tell people that all the time when they start getting upset. We should have had that. We're the second youngest team in the World Cup, and we were not supposed to be there. We were talked down upon by everybody, and we got through. And it just looked towards the future. Julian Green. The player that was picked over Landon Donovan, supposedly, got in and scored a goal. We got to see what Julian Green is about.
Was that his first
That was his first time coming out. So we got to see what he's like on the world level.
It was a beautiful shot.
Exactly. So we have so much more to look forward to. It's going to take time. And that was Jurgen Klinsmann's, it was his ideals going into this.
I believe his mom still drives him to practice, Julian Green. That's what they said.
He's young. He's real young. But that was his whole mindset going into this, that we're preparing ourselves for the future.
Right.
He had been saying that, and, you know, as soon as Landon Donovan got cut, you know, everybody went into an uproar. But he was saying, I'm building for the future.
Right.
We're not going to win the World Cup this year, but we're going to build for the future. And that's exactly where we're primed. We're primed to make a big push next World Cup.
So this is a question I'm going to pose to you, and we can make it as a poll as well if we want it to be. 4 years in between World Cups. Our two main stars are probably the two, if not the oldest, but two older gentlemen on the team, Clint Dempsey and Tim Howard. What do you think is the likelihood of them coming back for 2018?
And not even just those two, but the guy you mentioned earlier, DeMarcus Beasley, he's 32. I mean,
Josie Altidore's injury prone.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see Bradley coming back. What do you think? So we're building a team, but now we're forgetting it's 4 years in between a World Cup.
Right.
Age is a factor on those legs, right?
Of course.
And he might slow down. You were talking about Pirlo earlier in the pre-show. He's an older gentleman. He's still kicking out there.
Oh, yeah.
But Jurgen Klinsmann got rid of Landon Donovan because he wanted more of a young, upbeat, speedy type of person versus Landon Donovan, who's actually been in the World Cups twice before and is well-versed and experienced in that. But we went with the younger guy, and he actually kind of showed and proved himself that the first game we got in, he scored like that.
Yep. All right, well, I guess I'll go through by just listing each one. And I'll give you their age also.
Okay.
So you've got, like you said, first off, what are the chances of Clint? We'll take it, Clint Dempsey and Tim Howard. I do not see Tim Howard coming back. The level of intensity and concentration that playing on the international level takes is a lot. And I couldn't even imagine it. It's hard to fathom being a athlete. Well, it's hard to imagine being a professional soccer player as it is. Playing for, like in Tim Howard's case, he plays for Everton of the English Premier League.
Right.
So you're already traveling all over England, to play. To be completely honest with you, I couldn't tell you where Everton's based out of.
And his expectations have been raised now from the game we were knocked out of. If he were to come back to a World Cup and not perform that well at an older age.
But I believe going into this World Cup, Tim Howard he's already very respected around
Liverpool.
Well, it's based okay. He's very respected around
the soccer world.
The Europa League as well.
Yeah, exactly. And you see him on he's even in Nike commercials.
Yeah.
He's a Nike endorsement. They did a Nike cartoon where it was the best soccer players in the world versing their clones. And Tim Howard's out there.
Yeah,
He's the keeper.
goalie.
And that was something like done prior to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Going
it
into
was
the World Cup.
It was to promote the World
was to
Cup. It
promote
was
the
actually an
World
awesome commercial. Like,
Yeah,
he was
okay.
like
he
a
was
5-minute
vested with
commercial.
Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo,
All the big names.
big names.
Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
You know, and you got Tim Howard right up there. So he's already a guy that
We'll post the
He's,
video on our
he's
blog.
internationally known.
Yeah, he
For
is.
those who don't know,
international.
we'll post the video on the blog, and
So you can check it
so
out.
you guys can check it out. It's actually a very entertaining commercial.
But being internationally known, is he known to rock the microphone? I had to drop that in there.
But with Tim Howard, like I was saying, you know, it's already hard enough to be playing at that level.
Yeah.
But when you take it to the international level, I mean, you've had guys like Kevin Prince Boateng from who plays for Ghana. He retired after last World Cup, and I believe at that time he was only 26. And he retired because it's too much. It's a lot on your body. There's a lot of traveling.
It's emotional stress only. There's
Exactly.
a lot going into it.
There's a lot going on, and especially when you're a keeper. That's amplified times
Yeah.
10. So, you know, he's gone on record saying he does not see himself coming back. He wants to be able to cheer on Josie Altidore. His exact words is he wanted to cheer on Josie Altidore when he scores a goal at the next World Cup at some bar somewhere in America.
right.
Okay.
That's where he sees himself. Is that going to happen? You never know. 4 years is a big time frame. You know, it's hard to get rid of a sport. It's like an addiction. You know, it's
Yeah.
hard to wean yourself out of it. So who knows if he's going to be coping with that next World Cup? Maybe at that point we'll have the next great American goalkeeper coming in. So you don't know on his status, but he will be 39, 40 around next
The
World
next World
Cup,
Cup.
which is it's very old
Yeah.
in soccer
Getting up
terms.
I mean, old in sports in general.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, the
especially in
long-
soccer terms,
Yeah.
that is old.
Unless you're a
Because-
quarterback who's got a great offense, then
But-
you can be Tom or Peyton.
well, see,
Yeah.
in soccer, you know, your career length. I mean, it's long, but only because you start so young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these guys, what people don't realize, they come in at like 16, 17,
Yeah.
and they're already playing for the Premier Leagues. Like Neymar's only 21, and he was totally
He's
one of the
at
best players in the
18,
world
17?
Yeah.
while he was 17, 18.
Yeah.
Like a huge story here in the U.S. when Freddie Adu signed with, I believe it was the United. We were
He was like
shocked.
16,
He was
right?
like 14 or
He was
15.
14, 15.
Yeah.
And-
But that's
we were
commonplace
shocked,
overseas.
But overseas, they probably thought, oh, it's a great young prospect. We're looking at it from the outside looking in saying, what are you guys doing? You're a professional sports franchise, and this kid is
Yeah.
right freshman in high school.
But I mean, this was common in also baseball itself, right? I mean, not to get off topic, but baseball kind of also drafted straight out of high school and younger
Yeah,
kids.
they were more
not
on the
14 to
side of
15,
17,
yeah,
18,
but
but-
it's still younger, right?
Yeah.
You don't really hear that much.
But see, and that's, you know, we don't hear that as much in American culture because overseas, if you don't know, they have the academies.
Yeah.
And DC United, after the whole Freddie Adu, they've started building the academies there to get homegrown players.
Yeah.
But overseas, you've got the academies where kids will come in and live over there, and all they do is play soccer, and you know they go to school.
It's also a different way of life.
It completely.
Depending on what country you're living in, you know, whatever type of third world or not, people have a lot more that they're working for, striving for, just don't have anything else to do besides go outside and kick the ball, you know?
Completely. But, I mean, you also, like I was saying, you got the academies for the young kids. Then you have, you know, U16, U18, U21, all under that team's umbrella.
Yeah.
Then, if depending on which league you're in, you might have, you know, Real Madrid B squad. And then you have the A squad, which is the premier flagship of the team. But all those, you know, teams technically are under Real Madrid. So
Speaking of which,
that's how you get to grow.
very off topic. It's related to soccer, but a movie that we should all watch. I don't know if you guys have seen. It's called Goal.
Oh, I love Goal. I
It's
love
a
that movie.
Great movie. We didn't.
Love that
I don't know
movie.
why we didn't mention it.
Love
Great
that
movie. I know you're not a big soccer fan.
Who's in it? When did it come
There's
out?
no big name
no
actor.
big name actor.
But
But they have big name players and coaches. I believe in
yeah,
there.
Goal 2 I think was the best one out of the whole series.
But
That's
Goal
the
1
where
had
he
to set
played.
it up.
Yeah, Goal 2 he goes to Real Madrid. Yeah, there's I can't think of the name of the actor off the top of my head, but there really is no big name actor in it.
Kuono Becker, Alessandro Nivola, Marcel Luris, Stephen Delane.
It's on Netflix. We'll check it
Okay,
out.
We'll check it out on
Yeah.
Netflix. And coming up in a second here, we'll also be checking out NBA free agency happenings, roster, future changes. But before we do that, gotta pay the bills around here. Today's program is brought to you by ACES, Atlantic Coast Extreme Sports. And we are also happy to bring you a few of our other sponsors, including Sprint, along with Booz Allen Hamilton, the Stonebridge Athletics Department, MCI WorldCom, AOL, and Uno Chicago Grill. If you would like to hear your name mentioned on our show and become a part of the Aces family here, or the Cover 3 family as well, please send all inquiries to our Facebook page at Atlantic Coast Extreme Sports on Facebook. And also visit our website at acextremesports.com. That is ACXTREME sports.com. And check out our own website, cover3.weebly.com. You'll be able to see a lot of polls, articles written by us, our opinions that you might not hear on the show. A little more of a lengthy segment from our co-hosts here, Emron, Brandon, and myself. Check us out there. And coming back here, guys, NBA free agency. We are in the midst of it. You wanted to...
Yeah, I'm sorry. we had to face the World Cup.
Face the World Cup.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, I'm excited for the free agency. Let me tell you, I can tell you a little something about the free agency now. But yeah, I wanted to get back to your question real quick. Took a little bit longer on Tim Howard, but he had the 16 saves,
You're right.
record breaking. How can you not talk about the performance he had? The defense definitely needed to step up, but like I said before, we're young. Clint Dempsey, he will be 35 by the time next World Cup comes around. But he's playing at the midfield. I think he's going to come back. He hasn't expressed that he doesn't want to play at that age again. But I can definitely see him coming back. Michael Bradley. Michael Bradley, he's not. Well, to go back to Clint Dempsey. Clint Dempsey's not playing overseas anymore. He came back home.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be as rigorous. The level of play he's playing at. So I think he should be fine to play again. Take another run at the World Cup. Just had to get that point out there. Michael Bradley, he's only 26 right now, so he will just be hitting 30 by the time next World Cup comes in. I didn't have a problem with his play. As a team, we were a little timid. I think we were a little afraid of giving up goals throughout the last matches.
Yeah.
But I think Michael Bradley could make another run. I don't see why not. I honestly do not see him getting cut. And the one player who I believe is going to have the most success coming into not only his season next year, but for the next couple of World Cups, Jermaine Jones.
Yeah. He played, if not next to Clint Dempsey and Tim Howard, my favorite player of the World Cup of the USA team.
Oh, I think he played above. I mean, Clint Dempsey had Clint
Dempsey
had a great World Cup, but I think Jermaine Jones
is a warrior. Did you see him getting knocked down against Belgium?
And you know what? I mean, Dempsey was getting it too, but Jermaine Jones, he was just grinding he didn't take a play off.
Yeah, and he also got he got a goal as well. So
Yeah, and he came over from Germany. When he was younger, he was on the U Germany teams.
Yep.
But he definitely, he switched over in 2010. He was injured, and this was this was really his coming out party for the World Cup. So happy that we've got him. He's doing great. He was playing last year for Schalke 04. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. The German team where Kevin Prince Boateng plays.
Don't look to me to pronounce because
next season he's going to be, or this season he's going to be at Besiktas.
Yeah.
He is definitely going to be. He's probably going to go down as one of the best U.S. players.
Yeah, I can see him coming back, and I can see him doing that.
I mean, he's 32, but he's got it. He looks like he's got it in him to play another World Cup. I think he's got it in him. He can play another World Cup. As long as he stays healthy from now to 4 years.
I think he's hungry.
Definitely.
I mean, you saw there was times he needed to get on the bench and relax. He got injured like 4 or 5 times against Belgium.
Good. And he's just playing hard.
But for him to fight through it, I like players who don't give up, and I like players who actually, you'll get injured, but it's like, it's like going back to the streets or like going back to when you were younger and you'd play like pickup basketball and somebody would foul you, but you're not calling the foul.
Right.
You're fighting through it, right? That was like him. He's like, all right, I'm going to just keep playing until somebody else calls it, but I'm keep pushing myself. If I get injured, I get injured. It's, no pain, no gain, right? That's why I liked him a lot. That's probably my favorite player in, the USA soccer team. The other team, like other players you mean, like Bradley, his performance, it's not like, he had a great touch here and there. He had a great touch to Green to get that goal against Belgium.
Right.
But if you look at his performance in the last 5 games, there's some games that we could have, like let's say, Portugal. The reason why Cristiano Ronaldo even got the ball was because Bradley could have just held it in the corner, but he didn't, and he lost the ball, So it's like little things like that. It's like hiccups that along the way make Bradley, to me, in my eyes, like, you're not the caliber of a player that I thought you were going to be on a World Cup team.
Well, going back to that Portugal goal, yes, Bradley, should have had a little bit better ball control, but you had 3 men down there also. Actually, you might have 4 if I'm going back thinking about the play. You may have had 4 men down there. Varela wasn't marked properly. He completely just snuck past everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody should have been marking him. I would not place the full blame on that tie on Bradley. But you know what? That if we would have had advanced and gotten past Argentina, I'm not sorry.
Where's your mind?
If we would have gotten past Portugal, I think it would have been a different story. If we would have gotten the points over Portugal and could have easily perused past Germany, just taking the loss or taking a tie, whatever, and we still would have gotten first place and gone through, and faced Algeria, I think we would have gotten to the next round.
Yeah, but we're here now, right?
Yeah.
It was a good run. To wrap up this segment, I think that USA played well. I think a question that we're going to leave posted for our blog is, do we think that soccer has gained a little bit more attention in the eyes of the average American citizen because we made it to the round 16, or do we not? Right? Yeah. Something we could talk about next show, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm excited to hear some opinions about that. And moving on, I think, Matt, what do you got for us?
Our now very shortened NBA discussion, due to half of it now being gone, are going to be leading off with the big 3, always the talk of the NBA. Reports are coming out. The first one the other night was that the Lakers called LeBron at midnight, trying to bring him to LA, the big city of the West. Do you think that's realistic? Do you think LeBron would ever go team up with someone like Kobe, or do you think this is just them? They have to give it a shot because everyone should give LeBron a shot because he's the greatest in the world.
Yeah, I mean, he's LeBron James, of course.
But does it fit?
Does he fit? You know what? LeBron James is one of those players where if he's willing to listen and he's willing to sign, you make him fit. It's not, he shouldn't be well, does he really fit in our scheme? Does he fit in our system? No, you make him fit.
This will be a BG's Corner segment in just a second. Big Kobe fan to my left here. Big LeBron fan here. Now, will LeBron take over the team, or is Kobe still going to be the head honcho?
Or will Kobe even pass the ball to LeBron? I feel like that's an equally valid question.
Clearly, Kobe didn't pass a lot, and we see where the Lakers are now. So, BG's Corner, take it away, please. I would love to hear it.
Give me 1 second. Let me prepare myself. Go ahead and talk about
yourself,
what you want to talk
Jason
about.
Kidd, one of the greatest point guards of our generation. We all grew up watching him.
Right.
No matter what jersey you remember him wearing, whether it be the Suns, Nets, Mavs, Knicks. He has just been traded after 1 season as being a head coach. Are people going to start to I don't know if that's a stain on his career, but he was traded to a very lowly franchise. No disrespect to the possibly up and coming Milwaukee Bucks. So are people going to look at his legacy and separate it as the guy that was accused of hitting his wife and was one of the greatest assist players in the league? And they're going to separate that from his coaching career, or are they going to look at this as a lump sum, like Pete Rose's career is somewhat looked at as a lump sum now.
With Jason Kidd, I think there's I think people are looking down upon this, and I think people are misconstruing the facts of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Kidd went to the GM, the owners, and he said he wants more power.
Uh-huh.
He wants to be able to pick who's drafted, pick what's done here. You know, kind of like a Greg Popovich role, like
Phil Jackson. It's what's in vogue in the NBA right now. Is
right.
A Jerry Jones type power without being the owner.
Well, I wouldn't say Phil Jackson because Phil Jackson doesn't coach. He's more just the president.
Mm-hmm.
But he wants more to do with day-to-day basketball
Would you say
operations.
he had that power in LA though, or with Chicago?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's in the NBA. It's not like the NFL where you have a say on who's drafted. You have a say on who's traded. You know, it's you can say what you want to say, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Jason Kidd wanted the chance to be able to be like, hey, I want to build a team. I want to do what I want to do.
He has a vision for his
yeah.
basketball team.
And I don't think people are seeing this, that Jason Kidd actually, when he proposed that idea, they responded negatively, gave him a no, and he said, all right, well, is it okay if I go speak with the Bucks?
Uh-huh.
And they laughed at him and said, yeah, go ahead.
And the Bucks responded, we'll give you a second round pick.
Yeah, we'll give you a second round pick. Give us Jason Kidd.
Yeah. So did you think under the table, or maybe it's very obvious in NFL and NBA spheres, do you think they've already given him that power that once you come here, you're going to have that full control?
Yeah, I think that's what.
I think that was the biggest.
I think that's what the reason why.
Don't you find that a little bit odd that, as you just mentioned before, you don't always have that say in decisions? Wouldn't he have wanted to make that move prior to the draft? Wouldn't he, like, maybe Jabari Parker's went to the Bucks, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he have maybe wanted to have a say in who they take with that? Maybe he had a great vision for Embiid, the fellow that went to the Sixers.
Right.
Maybe he had someone else in mind. Or is that just null and void now that he's gone there? He's going to, from this point on.
I think from this point on, he's going to rebuild.
Okay.
I think if he wasn't happy with the Bucks' draft decisions and all
Then
that,
he wouldn't have
then he
taken
wouldn't
it.
have
He wouldn't
taken
have
that
taken
offer
it.
because
Yeah.
he's also, you understand, his job security is on the line too, especially leaving the
Yeah.
Nets, and after the season the Nets had with the talent they had,
Yeah.
him going to the Bucks, which is arguably probably a more worse of a team than the Nets are.
Nah, that completely
Would
worse of a
definitely-
team.
Right.
Definitely.
Nets
I mean,
made,
You stamp
Nets
that.
made a little bit of a run.
I didn't want to be, off the bat rude, but if we're gonna go there, we're gonna,
Stamp
They're the,
that.
they're the
It's
Jaguars of the NFL. That's- I
Yeah,
like that.
but so for Jason Kidd to go there, he knows what he's dealing with, and he knows that the choices that they're gonna make now and whatever's to come in the next 2 years, 3 years, however long his deal is all reflected upon him as a head coach and how he can be able to coach that team in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna shoot himself in the leg. He's not gonna be a Plaxico Burress, right? He's
Yeah.
not gonna do that to himself. I had to fill that in. You like that? You like that? Yeah, it's nice. He's not going to do that. He's not going to shoot himself in the foot and kind of end his career. He's just not getting into the coaching world. It's his first year. He did all right with the Brooklyn Nets. Let's see what his basketball sense can take him. I'm excited for it.
Do you see him making any moves the rest of this offseason? Or he's going to stay quiet?
I could see him making a couple moves.
So can I.
No big name?
No, I don't see him. I don't see any big names going to Milwaukee.
No.
Milwaukee is already having problems with getting a better stadium,
Right,
a
yeah.
better arena. I honestly cannot tell you how old that arena is. I would look at it right now, but they have been playing in the same arena for decades. I can't even find it right now, but that's a problem within itself. They can't even get an arena built for them.
You need to have a market to bring in those kind of
Yeah,
players.
and Milwaukee is definitely not the market
Yeah.
for top free agents.
Yeah.
When have you ever said, I want to go on vacation to Milwaukee?
Never. Never.
Or I wanna go-
Surprising in
I
the
wanna go
state of
work in Milwaukee.
It's funny to see how the disconnect is in the state of Wisconsin. Like Milwaukee, I don't know if that is the capital, but that's the most famous, most known city there outside of Green Bay.
Right.
And Green Bay is a very, very, very small town, yet Green Bay in the NFL, that's somewhat of a free
Now,
agent
you
land.
wanna go to
Yeah,
Green
you want
Bay.
to go to Green Bay, but then other sports in Wisconsin.
I was just
whoa,
about to say
now.
that though. You got Green Bay also in Wisconsin that's got this huge huge population of fans that are following that are big cheeseheads, right? Mm-hmm. Milwaukee Bucks can't do that. I don't think it's because
Huge
of
ratio of fans to non-fans.
Right,
The population is
excuse me. Right, the population is like we double it, but it's in here.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like Milwaukee. I don't think it's the fact of the geographical location. Yeah, that adds to it. Nobody's gonna vacation spot. I think there might be like America's Mall over in Milwaukee where like they have a roller coaster in it, whatever have you. I only know that for a fun fact, but it's because of the team. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it. Green Bay had Brett Favre. Now they have Aaron Rodgers. They have a team, people for somebody to live for, like for Wisconsin in general to get excited for. A lot of Milwaukee, residents are probably Green Bay cheeseheads, But Milwaukee hasn't had a run in quite some time.
Yeah.
And they had some talent come on and like, oh my God, this could be them starting to rebuild, but then that talent gets traded elsewhere, or the talent gets hurt, or whatever have you. I think geographically aside, they just have a lot of rebuilding to do, and I think Jessica's going to bring that popularity to them. So
I agree. And before we close out the NBA here, do you have your final comments on the LeBron?
Well, I'm definitely going to get into BG's corner. Okay. I'm going to rip into. Are you going to
save that
BG's
for the end?
No, I'm going to get into it after this advertisement right here. This is the Cover 3 podcast, and we are brought to you by Atlantic Coast Extreme Sports. That is ACXtremesports.com. Check it out. You get you get to check out the Cover 3 podcast on there. You get to check out the Amateurs podcast on there. You got different shows, different blogs you get to check out. Personal favorite of mine, the 5 Knuckle Hustle. I'm a huge WWE fan. You can check that out right there. The 5knucklehustle.weebly.com. I'm also getting dirty looks right now, so I might as well go ahead and plug it. You got the Swimmer's Lane. The Swimmer's Lane, you get all your swimming information, tips, tidbits, all about swimming.
You can't forget about our guest, Crazy Talk with Ill Will.
Of course, Crazy Talk with Ill Will.
Friend of the program.
Great friend of the program.
Great friend.
So yeah, go ahead and check out acextremesports.com. You're going to find out everything that AC Extreme Sports is about. And also, if you are looking to get your business out there, we'll put it out there for you. We'll air your business. So come through acextremesports.com. Let us know. We are taking advertising.
And we did want to thank our sponsors, right? Booze Out in Hamilton, Chicago Bar and Grill, Sprint, the Amateurs in itself, the show. We also want to thank
MCI WorldCom, AOL, Stonebridge High School Athletics,
EP Exclusive Performance. I was an EP kid.
And Sport.
I was an EP kid.
So thanks for.
A friend of the show. Rika was also an EP.
Rika was an EP kid.
Friend of the program was.
Actually, I used to ride the EP with Rika.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his dad used to take us. Yeah,
nice.
That was back in the day.
All right.
EP has gotten a lot bigger since then, but that was way back in the day. They used to wear me out.
All right.
Well, before we head into our next segment in our division talk ranking segment, we're going to move into BG's corner, and he has his thoughts on the Lakers, LeBron.
In Aziz's Arena, let's not forget. It's about that time.
You do realize that Aziz's Arena is in Kaufman country, and then BG's corner is in
Kaufman's country. That's clever.
Yeah.
You guys are.
I may have to change that to continent if anyone decides something bigger than country, because continent, you're not going to.
I'm a modest guy. I just need a little corner to voice myself.
Okay.
Let my thoughts and opinions and all of that be heard. Okay. And you guys, you want an arena, you want a continent.
We all know who has the biggest ego. Definitely BG's corner. How often do we go to BG's corner?
You can't get enough of BG's corner. You know what? I need to just start writing a blog called BG's Corner.
A little theme music to come in.
I need some. I want a marching band.
We need a BG's Corner segment on the Cover 3 blog. Can you do that?
I'm gonna do that.
All right, thank you.
It's done.
Let's get to.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Let's get to this segment, please.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
First and foremost, you guys are disrespectful.
Okay.
You guys are very disrespectful for saying, would Kobe pass the ball to LeBron James? I hate that there's this notion that Kobe Bryant does not pass the ball.
I posed the question. All right.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant does pass the ball. Kobe Bryant, let me pull this up right quick.
Yeah, he passes the ball all 81 points of that 2 or 3 games that he has,
4.8 assists over his career. You know why that number is skewed? Hold on. Let me tell you why.
No.
Let me tell you why.
Can we pause on BG's corner?
Hold on, wait. This is BG's corner. You can have Arenas or whatever. Gilbert Arenas bringing guns in. You know, you got 4.8 assists in his career. The reason why that number is skewed is because he had 1.3 assists in his first season when he was barely playing, and 2.5 assists in his second season when he was barely playing. Other than that, if those numbers were not there, he would be averaging around 5 assists a game.
4.8 is just about 5 assists a game. I rounded up.
Higher, okay, I'm sorry. Higher than 5 assists
So
a
about
game.
what?
How many
About 10 points a game or so are coming from assists from LeBron, give or take a few points. Give a few points
Right.
for 3-point shots.
Right.
About 10 points, a little more, are coming from LeBron.
Right.
But
Kobe in assists.
you got
From
Over-
Kobe, 10 points
yeah.
are coming in.
you have over 5 assists a game he would average. That's not selfish. That is what point guards are assisting. And everyone has this notion where Kobe doesn't pass. Kobe's not going to pass up the game-winning shot because he's Kobe Bryant.
That's true.
There's no need for him to pass up the game-winning shot.
Right.
There's no need for it.
Right.
LeBron James, he's a different kind of player. He is willing to facilitate the game-winning shot, and I applaud him for that. I commend him for that. I think he should be taking the shot, but at the same time, he has 2 other players around him that can make that game-winning shot.
Right.
But Kobe Bryant, on some of those teams, he definitely did not have those players around him. So people remember your last shot, and that's where they get this notion of Kobe doesn't pass. But Kobe does pass. So if LeBron James was to come, and like I said, LeBron James is a player where you don't worry about if he fits your scheme, you make him fit your scheme. I am more than positive that Kobe Bryant is hungry. He wants another ring. He will have LeBron James on that team. I believe Kobe will still lead the team, and he will be that captain. I believe that the game would flow through Kobe, but he has no problem with LeBron James being out there also and getting him the ball. Kobe wants that 6th ring, and I'm sure he wants that 7th ring also. And you know what? For that discussion where if Kobe will be better than LeBron, does Kobe need more rings than LeBron? Hey, LeBron goes to LA. Kobe will still have more rings than LeBron James if they're on the same team.
Wasn't it on Football Talk that rings didn't matter? Didn't you say that?
You're gonna hold on. You asked me a question. You asked me a question. Yes, and I'm gonna answer it for you. What I said is, rings do not matter when building a championship team.
Okay.
You do not have to draft players who have won a Super Bowl beforehand
right.
to make a championship team.
Absolutely
That's what
right.
I said. So don't sit there and try to misconstrue my words.
But
I knew what I said, baby.
I know what you're saying, and I know what you said, and to kind of couple off that, LeBron has 6.9 assists career-wise, right?
Right.
Kobe has 4.8.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't we laughed when you said Kobe had 4.8 because LeBron is averaging 14 points a game that he's assisting.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe's barely getting double digits, 10 points, you
Right.
know? Kobe's he's not like a ball hog, he's a ball hog, this and that. He's known to just take control of the game when he needs to, even when he's having a cold game. Unlike LeBron, he will dish the ball and he will put on the burners or put on the jets if he needs to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And play out until his body tells him otherwise. And we saw that.
But like I said, his first 2 seasons he averaged 1.3
Right.
assists, 2.5.
Out of how many seasons?
Out of you mean how many games?
How many? Yeah, sure. How many seasons did he have overall? How many seasons has Kobe Bryant played in the
Kobe
NBA?
came in
At 96.
96.
Okay, so you're thinking almost
18 seasons.
18, 19 seasons?
But like I said, in those first 2 seasons, do you know when Kobe Bryant was playing?
No.
Kobe Bryant played in garbage time.
Okay.
When you're playing in garbage time, you're trying to get as many points as you can.
Right.
It's
Trying to get highlight reels.
Exactly.
Game tape
Yeah.
for other teams to look at.
and Kobe Bryant, his first season, he averaged 7.6 points.
Right.
And the second season, he averaged 15.4. The stats show that it wasn't him being selfish.
It was just-
He wasn't in there at premium times. Kobe
Right.
Bryant started 1 game in his second season and 6 games in the first. He wasn't getting that time. He had 15.5 minutes a game in the first season, 26 minutes per game in the second.
Right.
And then when he got to the third season, it was 3.8 assists.
But this is what I'm trying to tell you.
By the 5th season, he had 5 assists.
Okay, but what I'm trying to tell you is, I know you're no math major, but over 18 seasons, 2 seasons don't really have an effect
When they're that low.
much I mean, okay, so what's his highest assists per game?
6.9.
That's LeBron's career average.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong one. 6.3.
LeBron's career is 6.9
Okay.
overall. So do you understand what I'm trying to say? Sure, I understand your argument is the first 2 seasons that he started or he didn't start. Him coming to the NBA did not pose a big enough. He didn't pose enough numbers to throw and dish the ball.
But he didn't have a chance also.
Worldwide is known to take the ball even when he's cold and this and that. LeBron, I believe, will be a great fit for the Lakers. And LeBron and Kobe, we've seen them play together on the USA team.
Can you tell me how many games LeBron played in his first 2 seasons?
Quite a few.
I can tell you, 79 and 80.
Yes.
Kobe played 71, 79, but in garbage time. That's going to cripple your numbers.
That's fine, but you're telling me his high. I asked for the highest assist per game, and he hasn't been playing in garbage time his whole entire career.
No.
Right?
6.3 was his highest.
Well, before we just keep running in circles, kind of just say it. You guys are obviously agreeing to
Disagree?
Yeah, of course.
I don't know how long we can beat this horse to death, but
Well, it's an age-old thing.
Yeah, we like.
Okay, so
LeBron can fit if need be in LA.
Right.
It's probably not the most realistic destination for him.
I think. Well,
I think it would be awesome to see them two.
It would be like the culmination of all of our basketball fandom
Black
combined.
Mamba and the King.
Yeah, but realistically, is it going to happen?
it's possible.
It's possible. I'm on the fence.
Well, where I wanted to go next into BG's corner, divvy down a little more. You hear LeBron James is trying to get that max contract.
Yes.
He's not coming back,
That's the assumptions that are being made. Yes.
which I had said. He's not coming back. He's looking for that max contract, which is in terms meaning that Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh are willing to take their paychecks and cut it in half. Now, I'm not saying LeBron's coming off as a selfish player, doing it for the money, because he already proved that he's willing to cut his pay to play somewhere.
Right.
I think it's time. I think LeBron's ready to get out. Because he's saying, I
think
need the
LeBron
max
knows.
contract. And D-Wade and Chris Bosh, they're not sure what he's going to do. They're
Yeah.
completely unsure.
They
They're
are.
not on the same page.
That's because LeBron finally knows his worth as the best player in the NBA, and him taking that cut to get a ring, he got 2, and now he's like, I know my worth. We're gonna get a ring while I'm getting paid the most I can get. Right? How many years does LeBron have? Nobody knows. He could have a devastating injury next year, and boom, so he's thinking ahead for his future and his family or whatever
Right.
have you. Respect the guy. I don't respect the fact that he's leaving after I don't like the rumors going around saying, oh, he's only leaving because championship he lost and he's gonna go somewhere else and try to do the same thing that he's gonna lose again and he's gonna probably leave to another team.
I'm on that side of the fence.
Yeah.
See,
He's chasing
I enjoy the rumors that say he's going to the New York Knicks. I like those
Washington
rumors.
Wizards.
No, I've never heard that.
Not
rumor.
after Gortat
I've never heard that
signed
rumor.
60 million.
I started that rumor and I'm gonna continue to tell myself that rumor.
Yeah, you guys just signed Gortat.
We're
Not
holding
happening.
out for the bad man. KD is coming to town. He's a diehard Redskin fan.
Yeah.
He wants to play in the DC area if they don't bring a ship to OKC.
Yeah.
I'm excited because free agency just started yesterday. LeBron said he's not making the trips that Melo is. Melo's making his ways around the nation, visiting
Right.
with many different teams. LeBron's not doing that. I'm pretty sure LeBron knows where he wants to go, what he wants to do. But I'm enjoying these Knicks rumors. I think I'm the only one talking about the Knicks rumors, but I'm enjoying these. So
I don't know if even the Knicks are talking about the Knicks.
I don't think so either. But LeBron, hopefully somebody can get this to LeBron. Sign with the Knicks, please.
That is stamped by the BG.
From BG's
All
corner, a
right,
stamp
yeah.
of approval.
Is that
going
the
to
final
Knicks.
statement from BG's corner before we can move on? Is there any closing statements?
Be sure to vote in Derek Jeter at the All-Star game.
Oh yeah,
It's last season.
And
I'll second that.
Yeah, do not vote in Bryce Harper. Do not vote in Bryce Harper.
You don't want Bryce voted in?
He
he hasn't
been
played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he gets voted in, it's going to basically be like, vote Anthony Rendon in from the Nationals.
That's
He's,
right,
Ryan
yeah.
Zimmerman, don't vote in someone just because he's a fan favorite.
So then, how would you feel about voting in Jeter? Because Jeter hasn't had the greatest
Okay,
season.
we see if.
What's his last season?
Okay, yeah,
Exactly.
If he's
So,
going
yeah,
to
that's
do you think? Okay, like I look back at this Jeter season is going to be when I don't know if you guys remember, but when it was Ripken's
Yeah,
last All Star
Ripken,
game,
yeah.
and Jeter played third and let Ripken go play shortstop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ripken might have not been at the prime point of his career where he should have been voted to that game. He
Right.
certainly was. Sorry for those technical difficulties there. But it's more of like when someone has this whole culmination of a career and this is their last season and you know it. Vote him in. It's gonna be the last hurrah. People go to those All-Star games to see All-Stars.
Right.
And Bryce Harper, even though he is an All-Star this season,
He's not.
What he was doing before he got injured, he was batting like way below 300.
So we think about Cal Ripken, and then we're going off comparing them to Derek Jeter. They have a legacy behind them. They've had those seasons where it's amazing, and they're probably one, if not one of the faces of the organization.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper is kind of a new face to the Nats, and
to outsiders looking in, he is the face.
Right.
Yeah.
But for us national fans,
Yeah.
like we know how we had Zimmerman come in, really didn't do much. Bryce Harper is coming in. He's proven himself, but this year alone, he's kind of been sitting off the bench injured and things like
he
that.
was not batting well.
He's not
he
batting
can make
well.
great fielding plays, but let's not.
It's not his
we'll
last
save
season.
baseball for another day.
Right.
But I don't want to see Bryce Harper voted in. Put Anthony Rendon in, best hitter on our team right now.
So
what
BG's corner,
is coming
LeBron
good.
to the Knicks, not gonna happen. Next
All right.
segment.
You are-
Matt.
What
you
I've been
so
looking
negative.
forward to all show here, the AFC East. If you guys did not listen to one of our prior shows a few weeks back, we ranked the NFC East. Please be sure to go read our article on that at cover3.weebly.com and vote on that poll. And we'll be getting to another segment on a division, which is, as I mentioned, the AFC East, right after we take a break from our sponsors. Emron, would you like to?
Yeah, I'll take it away.
Take it away this
This
time.
show is brought to you by acextremesports.com. That is ACXTREME sports.com. Where you're going to find all the latest blogs and sports news, even the most unique sports news that you might not find elsewhere. We got blogs from our latest team members that have the latest updates on swimming, wrestling, soccer, football, whatever have you. You're going to find it. We're going to be there. And, we can't get this all done without our, wonderful sponsors that help this keep going, right, for Cover 3. Our sponsors being MCI Intercom, we have Sprint, we have Uno Chicago Bar and Grill, Stonebridge High School Athletics, one of the locals here around the area. And for those that I missed, thank you very much. I'm sure we'll cover in the next segment, but also check us out at cover3.weebly.com for our written blogs. I know we split off the dome. I think each of us blogs separately on that, so you'll find a little tidbit of each of us on there. And a lot of polls that we asked during the show. So look out for us and any questions that you guys might have. Cover3questions@gmail.com. Once again, that's cover3questions@gmail.com. Shoot us a note. We'd love to answer your questions at the our shows to come.
You'll hear those read live on air.
Yeah.
Right here. And going into the AFC East, guys, the team I'm going to start off with here is the Jets. Always a clown car. That's the only word I can use to describe. They're always in the headlines for clownish reasons. Not clowny reasons, but very clownish.
See what you did
Very
there.
You're a funny guy.
Very clownish reasons. This offseason, they picked up the guy that, I don't know if anybody can really say they love him based on his past, but Mike Vick. You might love his play on the field. He's a very polarizing figure in the NFL.
I loved Mike Vick. Let's just say that.
I loved Mike Vick as well.
I still love Mike Vick.
I still do too. I mean, aside from the whole, dogfighting,
Electrocuting and eating dogs to death.
aside from the blemish on this, everybody has blemishes. We've all done something wrong.
Yeah.
Depending on the grand scheme of things, a lot
He
bigger than
served
others.
his time.
He did,
He
and I
served his
respect him
time.
for that.
I do too.
Because not a lot of other people get
Yeah.
out of it for whatever
Yeah.
have you money reasons. He
Yeah.
actually did his time. He got better, came back,
Yeah.
and had an amazing career. Not only that, always been an idol of mine playing at Virginia Tech football. And I'm a Hokie alumni. Let's go Hokie till I die. I'm excited to see what Vic can bring to the Jets.
But can we even see what he brings to the Jets? Because we do know that there is a quote-unquote quarterback battle going on. From what I've heard, in my personal opinion, Geno Smith is going to win this thing outright. I don't think Mike Vick at this point in his career is going to beat out someone like Geno that has a young, fresh, powerful arm and can also move around a little bit. Obviously not move around electrifying as Mike Vick can, but reports are out of camp that Geno's been taking roughly 70% of the first team snaps.
Right. I mean, all of us agreed that the Jets brought Mike Vick in as kind of like a mentor to Geno Smith, and they wanted Geno Smith to kind of be the face of the organization and kind of take that role after Mark Sanchez had, been traded away, right? I mean, we all kind of agreed that Mike Vick, the style of play that he has kind of mirrors what Geno Smith is trying to go for, and Mike Vick is best known to kind of teach that and kind of, be a role model to that, given his rookie and in his second season career with the Atlanta Falcons. I think that him taking 70% of the snaps is also due to the fact that the Jets do want a younger quarterback because he's not injury prone. He's actually more coachable because he doesn't have Eagles, Atlanta Falcons, and hokey kind of playbooks in his mind and whatever options have you. He's a fresh mind.
Yeah.
I think Rex Ryan knows what he's doing. I think that him taking 70% of the snaps is we're in camp.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, will Mike Vick start? Who knows? He could only be resting and taking 30% and just kind of being the leader.
Yeah.
And want to get him up to speed.
Yeah, well, here's the problem I have with that, is that if you're Rex Ryan and you're looking at this as you bring in Vic as a guy that is going to be that mentor role, or that guy that is used in emergency situations because he can still go out and play and put up somewhat quality numbers, why do you not give 100% of the first team snaps to Geno Smith? Wouldn't you want someone that's coming off a year where he had some great games, he had a huge comeback in one game, that you would want to throw as much at him as you can and have him be on the field as much and have a repertoire with his wide receivers that we all well know are not that great. Yes, they brought in Eric Decker, but Eric Decker was somewhat of a, maybe not a no-name, but was not what his name has become since Peyton Manning was in Denver.
Right.
Is this going to turn into the sort of thing where Eric Decker isn't a number one wide receiver? We really can't tell.
No.
I feel like you try to give Geno Smith as much time as you possibly can with that first team, behind that first team offensive line. And this might hinder, and Rex Ryan, yes, he may know what he's doing. He brought a team to an AFC Championship game 2 years in a row, but he's been known to not exactly handle quarterback controversies that well. We all know how Mark Sanchez and Tim Tebow went down.
Yeah.
Neither of them are now with the team. One of them is no longer in the NFL.
Is Sanchez still in the NFL?
The Eagles, him and Vic, they were not traded for each other, but they did switch places.
They did,
Okay.
Yeah, so Mark Sanchez is now back up to Mr. Nick Foles in Philly.
I'm curious what he's going to do over there in Philly. But
me
that's
too. I don't know if he's ever going to see the field because Nick Foles lit it up last year.
But Chip Kelly's a wild card.
Yeah,
second season in the NFL.
He is.
Anyways.
But another speedster on that offense that added is Mr. CJ2K, Chris Johnson, to those that are not familiar with his 2,000-yard feats of the past. He has come out this offseason and said that he sees 2,000 yards as a realistic expectation. The coaches are coming out saying we should run a running back by committee.
So Jets last season had just an array of backs because none of them were getting it right. You go from Bilal Powell,
Chris Ivory,
and
a bunch of
I
I'm
forget
not sure who
the
else.
third one.
Sean Green is no longer there.
Yeah, so those were the main two, Chris Ivory and Bilal Powell, because they seem to be the most effective. But the same thing with the quarterback situation. I don't think the Jets really have an idea. I think the Jets, the organization itself, doesn't really have an idea of how to kind of coach their team right now.
Well, I see Chris Johnson starting.
Oh, absolutely.
Hands down. I see him taking 70% of the snaps.
I think Jinx double jinx.
Yeah.
I'm talking about last season. This season, I think they did some great power moves to bring Chris Johnson in, to bring Mike Vennon to be, if not a mentor, but possibly take the spotlight in the Jets, depending on who's a better quarterback or who's a better fit for the role, right?
Quick question, back to quarterbacks. What about Taj Boyd?
Yes, we do forget about Taj Boyd.
That's
Interesting.
right.
We've played against. I played against him.
Yeah,
we've seen him.
Bit about Taj Boyd coming out was obviously not as hyped in NFL media circles. But after seeing him play at Clemson, we all know he can play. The Jets have said, on the other hand, though, that they might want to work him at positions that are not quarterback. He's that third or fourth string quarterback. He's an athlete.
That boy's an athlete.
But if you can't get Tim Tebow to go out and play special team punt coverage or tight end or H-back or fullback, you're not going to get Taj Boyd, who I don't think has, as athletic as he is for a quarterback, I don't think he has the raw athleticism that Tim Tebow has. His athleticism is more set in the quarterback position.
I wouldn't say that. I think
Taj Boyd is built like a quarterback. Tim Tebow is built like a fullback.
Fullback.
Well, Taj Boyd is 6'1", 225. I wouldn't say, from your prototypical
Yeah.
quarterback, I wouldn't
he's a
say
quarterback.
he's built like a quarterback.
I'd see him at tight end.
I would not see him at tight end. 6'1",
225,
225? No.
Is he that short?
Yeah,
I don't.
I got his stats right here. He's 6'1", 225. I could see him playing a slot receiver.
I don't know.
well, yeah.
Based on how ridiculous their quarterback problems have been of years past, when Mark Sanchez came in, everyone thought that no one should be drafting USC quarterbacks anymore. He took them to not exactly the promised land, but the Jets' promised land, which is an actual championship game,
Right.
even though it's not the Super Bowl. And he went downhill just as quickly as he went uphill.
Right.
For all we know, the same thing is going to happen to Geno Smith. Having a guy like that you are preparing for the future, like Taj Boyd, don't ruin his possible future capabilities by making him learn the tight end playbook, or have him in the fullback room, or have him on special teams,
Right.
playing
I mean,
punt coverage.
so now do you think the Jets are known to be like just kind of like the QB ruiner? Like, I mean,
No.
look at-
I growing up, when I was a huge Curtis Martin fan growing up,
Right.
and Chad Pennington.
Chad Pennington.
Chad
I'm talking
Pennington
about
was
as
an
of recent,
efficient-
as
As
of
of
late.
recent, I'm not going to say quarterback ruiner because they are. I'm not going to say they ruined Mark
Tebow's not in the
Sanchez,
league.
but but Tim Tebow didn't deserve to be playing quarterback in the NFL.
Another thing is with Tebow, he never tried to play enough for the position.
Yeah,
He wouldn't try.
Oh,
And I
Tebow
think
would be a
Tebow.
starting.
I think Tebow's problem. Tebow had an ego, and a lot of people don't like to say
Yeah.
that because Tebow is,
very
quote unquote,
realistic,
he's a
very
devout
religious,
Christian.
yeah.
You like to. I personally do not buy into Tebow, but the media likes to see that aspect
Yeah.
of Tebow. They love it. They praise
They
him
eat it
for
all up.
yeah,
They eat it all
and
up.
I believe Tebow has an ego.
He had a great
says,
marketable scheme.
whereas you got other guys who are just hungry and they just want to play. Just get me on the field. That's my dream to get into the NFL. Get me
Right.
on the field. I'll get on the field however I can. If you can tell me I can go out to the NFL, I played defensive end and linebacker throughout high school and college. If you can tell me that I can go into the NFL and just play kicker, I'll do it because I'll be in the NFL.
Or you go on punt coverage and you're on the outside and you're just sitting
Exactly.
there blocking the edge rusher and going
it's,
down.
It's
and
not
tackling
what I wanted to
someone.
do, but I'll do it. Look at it as
It's
a
your
job.
dream, right?
It's
your
a dream. Look at it as your job. We all have jobs. We all work. It's not the thing that we always
Yeah.
want to do, but you have to do it. And even if you are at a job that you wanted to do, you don't always do
Yeah.
things that you want to do.
You're asked to do things out of your job description. He came into the NFL and his job was to be a quarterback. In the NFL, he was not suited to be a quarterback. His job description had to change.
Right.
He did not want that job
Right.
description to change. That has now led him to being an SEC analyst.
Right.
If that's going to change anytime soon, if he doesn't want to go to the CFL or AFL, we don't know. I doubt.
He's got an ego.
Yeah. And
Tebow's got an ego.
there'll always be Jacksonville fans shouting for him to come there. That's not going to happen, I don't think, unless the Blake Bortles thing crashes
Right.
and burns, which I really don't see happening. Other things from the Jets to point on before we go to the Dolphins.
Yeah, CJ2K is not getting 2,000 yards.
Yeah, that's a poll we have right now on cover3.weebly.com. Do you think Chris Johnson is going to run for 2,000 yards? If so, this season, another season, or not at all?
They had no blocking last season.
I'm not gonna say no because he's proven himself to already do it once before.
With an amazing offensive line, with the Tennessee Titans,
right.
And being one of the only playmakers on that
Right,
offense.
and yeah, exactly.
And now you go into an offense where you got you got the butt fumble.
and they got
Yeah.
You got the butt fumble,
Yeah.
where you got guys who can't even move out the way, can't realize
That's
that
fine.
you got the ball coming up behind you.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen this year.
I don't see it happening
I'm
unless they
saying
have
that-
a drastic change in the offensive line. I do not see it happening.
Yeah.
He's talented enough to do that. That's what
And
I'm saying.
it's sad that we have to say that about their offensive line when they have two great players
Right.
in DeBrickashaw Ferguson and
Yeah.
Nick Mangold, who
But
are
that's
both
it.
That's-
Pro Bowlers. It's
And they're
sad to
getting up
see.
there in age too.
Yep.
And
And Mangold had the injury issue.
Quick point about their secondary. They used to have probably the best tandem in the league, Antonio Cromartie and
And-
Darrell Revis.
yeah, Darrell Revis.
Both gone now.
Yeah.
Young, unproven D. Milliner,
Where is Camardi now?
the Cardinals.
Yeah,
With probably
and-
the new best secondary
and
other than
That is
Revis is
I
with
can't
the
wait to talk about
Patriots,
NFC
who were
West.
also
I can't. Yeah, the Cardinals is a great secondary. I can't wait
yeah.
till we talk about that.
NFC
yeah.
West.
Yeah, and then that secondary also has first round draft pick Calvin Pryor.
Yeah.
From game
Yeah.
film,
Yeah.
he looks like he might be everything the Redskins hoped
That
LeBron
he-
Landry
yeah.
would play
Yeah.
like. He's
Right.
that kind of player. He's
Yeah.
a hard hitting guy out of Louisville.
but still unproven.
Unproven. So that secondary went from a area of strength to an area of weakness.
Right.
And Rex Ryan, the guy who runs that whole clown car up there in New York, or I guess the Meadowlands, New Jersey, if you want to call
Uh-huh.
it. He's been touted. No, I
It
have not.
stinks.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The Meadowlands.
Oh, God.
It's
He was-
Secaucus, right? I believe you're from that area, aren't you?
Not from that
Not-
area.
But he was
I got family there.
touted. He was touted coming out of Baltimore as the next big thing in coaching.
Right.
He did great things when he was just running a defense. He
Yeah,
hasn't really
yeah.
proven to do quote unquote great things in New York. What are going to be his future outlooks? You guys he's every season. I don't think he did this past off season. Goes into the season saying New York
We're
Jets
gonna
are going
win
to
the
win the
Super
Super
Bowl,
Bowl.
yes.
Is that a realistic goal while he's in New York? Do you think he's going to become a head coach of another team eventually in the future, or is he going to get relegated back to defensive coordinator duties if he ever leaves the Jets?
I think he's going to be relegated back to defensive duties, defensive
Uh-huh.
coordinator. I think that's when if he does have a chance at getting a ring, it's going to be when he's a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I don't see it being anytime soon with him being a head coach because, the talent that he did bring to the Jets, and when he did initially come out and say we're going to the Super Bowl because he did have Darrelle Revis and Anthony Camardi and the other talent, and Mark Sanchez was just getting started. Sure, it looked great on paper. Your team looked great.
Yeah, and they made it very close, 2 back-to-back AFC Championship games.
But you obviously didn't have the coaching ability to get them that one extra step up to get them past the NFC Championship.
AFC
Championship. Excuse me.
Okay.
But no, I don't see him being a head coach and winning a Super Bowl.
What about you,
He has coached the team with the Super Bowl. You forget
Yeah.
the
Right.
Ravens,
Yeah.
beating the Giants
Mm-hmm.
in the Super Bowl.
How'd that feel?
I was young,
Yeah.
but
And they had Trent Dilfer. So. I mean,
all right. God, that sucks.
Anyways,
I do not see him getting another ring as a coach, as a head coach, unless he's able to bring in, head coach caliber
offensive
coordinators.
Yeah.
I know he gave up his powers for calling offensive play calls. I think that's going to help a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised they don't go after a guy like Norv or something like that who ended up going to Minnesota this offseason.
Yeah.
They don't go after those big name offensive coordinators. They got, I mean,
And
Schottenheimer's a big name, but not the young Schottenheimer, the old Schottenheimer.
right, and I don't know if that might be an ego thing
Yeah.
on Rex's part because
he doesn't want to be overshadowed. by
exactly.
someone.
But you know what? I think you take a page from the NBA's playbook. Let check your egos at the door, take
Yeah.
pay cuts,
Yeah,
do whatever you
try
can
to
to
win.
win. But I do want to say I do hope that the Jets do get a Super Bowl win.
Rex is.
You got
for Curtis Martin.
Well-
Obviously, he was a great player.
I would like to say, it's being at Stonebridge, played with Zach Thompson. He was signed by the Jets. Kid is a beast. He used to kick my butt in practice. Coach would be like, go against Thompson, and Thompson's huge, kick your butt. So that'd be kind of cool to see, somebody you
Former
had on the team
teammate.
with,
Especially him being local, I actually
Exactly,
met him the
local
other
guy.
day. And he was down here with a friend, I guess. Real cool guy, really down to earth. He knows that he's like, I'm not. He's not fooling himself because he's on the Jets now. He knows that he still has to prove himself to be on the Jets, to be on the starting roster. And
Right.
he's a real cool dude. So
Right.
shout out to Zach Thompson in this area.
And once again, that question we're all answering there, you can find on cover3.weebly.com. Give us your input. And once again, before we delve any deeper into the AFC East here, this show is brought to you by ACES, Atlantic Coast Extreme Sports. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at ACES, Atlantic Coast Extreme Sports. And our sponsors of the show here. We got Chicago, the Uno Bar and Grill. We have Stonebridge High School Athletics, MCI WorldCom, AOL, Sprint. We are very thankful to have these sponsors here. Turn the lights on. And next team we're going to be stepping on here is the Miami Dolphins. This is a team that year to year, we really don't know what they're going to be about. They drafted Ryan Tannehill a few years ago. They have a running back by committee of sorts. Mike Wallace was signed last year. Obviously did not have the stellar year that we
had it all expected.
Yep. And their pass rush is very dominant. They have a young front. Deion Jordan was drafted last year, has not shown much. What do you guys think about the Dolphins? Where do you see them in that division? Are they at the bottom? Are they working
we
their
didn't
way
write
up?
the Jets. So what do you think Jets would go in the division?
I think Jets are going to be fighting for that third spot with the Dolphins. I think they're going to be trying to get into third place. I put the Bills second. Patriots, obviously.
You know,
first.
I was gonna put Jets fighting for second with the Bills. Patriots clearly taking one. I think Jets are gonna take second,
Okay.
and then Dolphins last.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're gonna rank it now, I would see the Dolphins being at the bottom of the barrel. You know, they have a great defense, and obviously we've seen over the years defense wins championships. But with the Dolphins, it's mainly just the front.
Yeah,
You know, they're just still missing pieces.
they're in
There's
the
a lot of
rebuilding
missing
phase.
pieces.
They're in the
Yeah.
rebuilding phase.
Yeah. Well, do you see the Ryan Tannehill, Mike Wallace connection working out? I think that was more first year jitters and not knowing how to use him. Do you guys
Right.
have a different opinion on that by any chance? Do you think he was only working in Pittsburgh because he had those other weapons around him?
It's hard to say. It could be a first year jitters, but it also could be a lack of focus. You're in a different area. You're in Miami. It's I mean, I can tell you from experience. It's a huge difference being in Miami, and you know what, to be honest with you, when I was at St. Francis, it's outside of Pittsburgh. Wasn't there for long, but you get an idea for the area. Whereas Pittsburgh's very you know, like it's blue collar, you know, working man. Miami's it's just a whole different animal
Yeah.
in itself. You know, there's a lot of nightlife. You know, you got Orlando not too far away. You've got so much going on. So it could be a complete lack of focus. It takes some getting used to, you know, finding yourself in Miami. So
Complete end of the spectrum. Basketball, they're a championship caliber team. Football, they're not. But you know what? I think they're just not ready. Building phase. Miami Dolphins. I can't blame the
You
geographic.
don't think
It's
they're in
their job.
any? You don't think they're in any place to fight for first?
I think
right
Ryan
now?
Tannehill and the whole Mike Wallace connection. First year jitters was there. I mean, they did have some great plays, but now I think this year will be the true testament if it's actually a fit or not.
What about Lamar Miller and now No. Marino in that backfield? Do you think that's going to be just another disaster going in with high expectations again? Do they figure out what's going on in the running game with a now depleted offensive line with Richie Incognito and the guys leaving the team?
I think No. I'm a big fan of No. Moreno. Always been an advocate of No. Moreno. I think
That's right.
that No. Moreno will.
Well, he is injured. He's going to be out for a month.
Yeah,
too.
he's going to be injured. I mean, that's been his kind of story at Denver as well. He was injured as well, but he came back with resiliency. You know, he came back fighting and put up numbers that were better than Monte Ball, and he took the starting position for Monte Ball over at Denver because, you know, to be frankly honest, they didn't have trust in No. Moreno until they saw a couple of his games and him doing what he could do.
You went into that season thinking Monty Ball or Ronnie Hillman might get the rock as much, if not more, than No. He proved that he could still carry.
Right.
But unfortunately, folks, might have to save the rest of the AFC East for our
Monday show.
Yeah, next Monday's show, where we will also hopefully be covering the NFC North.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
looking
start
forward
off.
to that.
Let's start off with the AFC
Finish
East.
off the AFC
Yeah.
East. But we don't want to keep you guys too long here at Aces in Cover 3. Brandon, would you like to send
Take
us
it
out
away.
tonight? Closing sponsors, statements.
Let's hear it.
We'd like to thank Atlantic Coast Extreme Sports for bringing you the Cover 3 podcast. Make sure you check us out at acextremesports.com. Also, be sure to check out all the other blogs that you see, all the other blogs, shows, podcasts, everything else that you see on AC Extreme Sports. And of course, for one last time, we got to show our sponsors some love. So we want to give a shout out to Stonebridge High School. Me and Matt are both alumni. Offense, defense, sports. You know,
Clinic. Yeah.
the camps and clinics going on over there. Booze out in Hamilton.
Uno Chicago Bar and Grill. I'm fasting.
forget.
I'm getting a little hungry. We're
I
constantly
know.
talking about Unos.
Sprint also.
Yeah.
Check
Sport
out your
Health.
phones.
Explosive performance.
Explosive performance. So yeah, wanted to give a shout out to and also MCI. Wanted to give a shout out to all of them. So thanks once again for checking out the Cover 3 podcast. You can always check us out here on Ustream on Mondays and Wednesdays
Yep.
at 7 p.m. And yeah,
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for
folks.
listening, and
been
thanks to
great.
our sponsors.
Yeah, we will see you next Monday.
Next Monday.